Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Angie at Chick 'n Scratch. These are the projects we're about to make. This is my Hey Birthday Chick class. Aren't they so cute? So this is box number 1. This is box number 2. This is the second card, and this is the first card. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the video. I do want to show you one thing really quick. This is the goodie bag that those of you that participated are getting. It has 2 rolls of ribbon, the polka dot and the crinkle seam binding and the clever clasp. Your rhinestones would not fit in that bag, so I added them in one of these little gift bags. And then your white envelopes for your cards are in here as well. Okay, so I hope you enjoy all the projects. Thank you for watching. Okay, so here's the project we're making. Isn't it cute? Okay, so here's all the supplies. We're going to start by stamping our chick. I had a hard time not using this image for every single project. Okay, now we're going to stamp the happy birthday. Okay, let's go ahead and cut this. Well, let's color it and then we'll cut it out, okay? We're using 3 markers, Rococo Rose, Mango Melody, and Gray Granite. I'm going to start with the dark Mango Melody and just go around the edges of the cupcake. Now we're going to cut that out, okay? Okay, so we've got a plate 1 and a plate 2. I'm going to flip that over. And then you know what? I need just a little bit of that. I'm going to take my washi tape to hold it down so that it doesn't shift. And then I'm going to stagger my plates, okay? There's our image. Okay, so now we're going to take the classic label punch and cut out the happy birthday. And then we're going to take our scissors and trim on both sides. We're going to take this stitch circle, and we're using Rococo Rose. I'm going to stamp off. So I'm just going to ink it up, stamp it off, ink it up, stamp it off, ink it up, stamp it off. Okay? Maybe we'll just do the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to take our liquid glue and add that to the back. And then add this here. This piece here, we're going to take the punch and flag the ends. You can use any punch that you prefer that does that. Okay, so I'm just going to take some liquid glue and put it right here in the center. Okay, we'll set all of this aside now. We're going to get out the Simply Scored scoring tool. Like I said, the instructions have the box template for this. I'm going to place it on the landscape side first, and I'm going to score it at 1 inch, 2 inches, 5, 6, 7, and 10. And then I'm going to turn it on the portrait side, and I'm going to score it at 1 inch and 5 inches. Okay, so we're going to fold on all of these score lines and burnish with our bone folder. Okay, here's how it looks right now. So you've got your 1/2 inch strip over here, okay? So I'm going to come down here and cut up to that score line and remove that part and then angle cut. Do the same thing over here. Remove this section and then angle cut that, okay? Down here, we're going to cut up to the score line. We're going to skip this one and then cut this one. Same thing over here. We're going to cut this one, but skip this middle one. And now we're going to trim these tabs. And we're going to go over, well, let me show it to you first. There we go. Now we're going to go up here and we're going to cut here, leave this, and then remove all of this. So if you prefer, you could put this back on your trimmer and you could cut straight across. I'm okay using my scissors. I found by using larger scissors that it's a little bit easier. When you're using the smaller ones, it's sometimes harder. Okay, so that's how it looks. Okay, so now we're going to be using the Detail Trio punch, and we're going to round the top 2 corners. Make sure I get that all the way in there. Press. And then now this one. Okay. Here's how it looks. We're going to take our tear and tape and put it on this 1/2 inch strip over here. Use my Take Your Pick tool to remove the backing. And then I'm just going to fold this over, okay? So that's the back of our box. That makes this the front, and this is the front bottom. So I'm going to put my adhesive on the front bottom, but I'm also going to put it on the back, okay? This time I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. Use whatever adhesive you prefer. I really use a variety of adhesives. And hopefully I called it adhesive. For some reason, I wanted to call it ribbon. Okay, so there's the back side folded first, and then here's the front side. Okay, now I'm just going to press down. If you use your bone folder, that helps. Okay, so here's our box. And then now we're going to squeeze that, squeeze the sides, and fold that over. And that's how it looks. Okay, so let's add our Designer Series paper to the front here. I'm just going to use liquid glue. I love this Oso Ombre paper. I'm going to be so sad when it retires at the end of February. Yeah, we just have, what, 8 days left? Not very many. I like this pattern of paper in every color that we have in the Stampin' Up! Family. Okay, so there's that part. Okay, so we're going to take the Clever Clasp and add it right there. We're going to take both ribbons, the polka dot tool and the crinkled seam binding, and we're going to tie a bow to add to that clasp, okay? Okay, so we're going to pick up one glue dot. Did I get it? Nope. Okay. And add that there. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now we're ready to add this to the front. So we're going to add 2 dimensionals. So it goes right in the center. And then we're going to add her with 2 dimensionals. So I'm just going to place the mini dimensional right in the middle. Okay, one more item is our bling. So we're going to add 3 rhinestones. Okay, so pretty cute, right? I hope you've enjoyed this project. Stay tuned for the rest. Okay, so we've got our supplies here. We're going to start with this Whisper White layer. I've got an S on here for scraps. When my instructions say scraps, that's usually for stamping. Okay, so I'm going to stamp her down here in the corner. And now we're going to stamp this chick. Okay, let's do some coloring. We're using Pool Party, Light Pumpkin Pie, Light Daffodil Delight, and Light Gray Granite, okay? Okay, so now we're going to cut these out. Okay, so I've got my mini. So we're going to start with her. I'm going to line this up, and then we're going to tape it down with some washi tape. There she is. Now we're going to take the little one. There she is. Okay, so now the happy birthday. Chris happy birthday. Okay, so here's all of our pieces, and we're just going to set those aside for now. And we're going to take our Granny Apple Green cardstock. Okay, we're going to score this on the landscape side at 1 inch, 3 5/8, 4 5/8, and 7 1/4. We're going to turn it on the portrait side and score it at 1 and 4 3/4. Fold on the score lines and burnish with your bone folder. I'm going to take the scissors and cut up to the score line on each of these and turn and repeat on this side. Okay, that's how it looks right now. So I'm going to trim these tabs just a little. And the same thing over here. Okay, that's how it looks. Now we're going to add adhesive to these 6 tabs, okay? I'm using my Stampin' Seal. You can use your favorite adhesive. I do often use liquid glue and tear and tape. I like to mix it up. Okay. Now this is going to fold just like that. So here's our box, okay? Now what you're going to do is place this on top of there and this one on top of there, okay? So what we're going to do is put tear and tape on here. This is such a cute box. I'm using the Take Your Pick tool to remove the backing of the tear and tape. And so now I'm just going to center this as best I can on this rectangle. And this is where if you used liquid glue, you could kind of slide it into place. The tear and tape you cannot slide, okay? So this is going to go here. I'm going to put my liquid glue right up here, okay? This liquid glue is super affordable and it works really well. Like it really does stick. So I'm going to place it there in the center and then slide it into place if it wasn't in the center, but it worked out that it was, okay? Okay, so now you want to make sure that you let it dry before you try opening the box. So, and then what I like to do is open the box and then press on that. Now this box, you can only open that far. If you try to open it all the way, it's gonna bend your scallop. So it's gonna open like that, but that's plenty. It has room to put your gift in there. Okay, so now we're gonna add the Designer Series paper up here to the top, and then we're gonna add this one down here at the bottom, okay? So I'm just gonna turn this over. Again, using my liquid glue with the Oh So Ombre paper. This paper is part of our celebration collection, and it is, I guess, retiring, you could say, at the end of celebration. So it's free with a $50 order right now, and there's no limits. I'm going to use my silicone craft sheet to add glue to the fence. So I've got 2 pieces of the fence. This is crumb cake cardstock. And we're going to place it right where that seam is. Now this one you're going to want to trim just a tad, because you'll see that it's going to go over the edge. So line it up where you want it, and mine's going to go there. So I'm going to cut off 1 post, okay? Just like that. And that's how it's going to work, okay? So let's put adhesive on there. Liquid glue. Oops, come back here. Okay. Now, our happy birthday, we want to add some liquid glue as well, or whatever your favorite adhesive is. I'm just brushing a little bit across, and then we're just going to add this on top of the Bermuda Bay one. Just kind of staggering them just a tad. And give it a second to dry. Okay, like that. And then same thing, just put a little bit of glue on the back. And we're going to add it right up here. Okay. Give it a second to dry. I'm done with the silicone craft sheet. So we're going to wrap the ribbon around, because you'll notice that the sides a little bit poke out. Part of that's because of the adhesive that I use. I should have used the tear and tape. But I'm going to take my polka dot tulle ribbon and wrap it around, and then tie a bow right here in the front. And this works better if you go ahead and cut your ribbon off the roll. I don't like to waste any of my ribbon since I use so much of it. So this is the polka dot tulle ribbon. And if you don't want to use white, you could always use your Stampin' Blend markers and color them. Or color it, I should say. I was referencing them, meaning the dots on the ribbon. Isn't that cute? See? It just looks so cute. Now we're ready to add our chicks. So I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. 2 on the big one, 1 on the little. So we're going to add this one over here. I just love this suite of product. Okay, and this one over here. And then we need to add some bling over here. Okay, so now I'm going to add 3 rhinestones to the corner. This time I'm going to use the medium size rhinestones. This is my favorite embellishment. It's super affordable, easy to use. Okay, so that wraps up this project. Pretty cute, right? Okay, so this is the first card for the Hey Birthday Chick class. Here's our supplies. Now you will have to cut your own designer series paper, okay? The measurements are provided in the PDF. So let's go ahead and stamp. I'm going to take this image. And then in your kit, you're also going to get this circle. There'll be enough scraps that if you don't successfully stamp within the circle, you can use your scraps to get another one, okay? So now we're going to color. We're using Bermuda Bay, Granny Apple Green, Gray Granite, and Light Daffodil. We'll start with the Gray Granite. Okay, so now we're going to cut her out. I've got my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. There she is. Okay, so now we're going to take this image here and add it to our scallop circle. I'm going to take this rectangle here, the scallop rectangle, and we're going to stamp the little confetti. So I'm going to stamp off. Okay. We're going to add that rectangle to this one. Also using the liquid glue. Okay. She's going to get added here with dimensionals. So I'm going to place 2 on the back. We'll set this aside for now. So we're going to start with the card base, and I'm going to score this at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. I'm going to do the same thing to the band, so 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. We're going to fold on the score lines and burnish with our bone folder. Okay, same thing with the band. Okay, so now this is going to attach here, and this is going to attach here. So it's going to work just like this, okay? And here's my example here. That's how it looks. So the long side is here, crease is in the middle, then that smaller crease there, okay? So it folds just like that. And so that's what we're going to do now to this piece, except we first need to add our designer series paper, okay? So here's our 4 pieces that we're going to be adding. This one here is going to go on the front. So I'm going to take my liquid glue. And then this panel is going to go here. Okay, now we're going to take this piece and add it down here to the bottom. Okay, that's how it looks right now. So now we're ready to add our band, okay? So I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. It's easy to get this a little bit crooked, and then I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue here. Okay. And bring it over. Just like that. So now we're going to hold it, okay? That should be dry. So now folds and opens just like that. So if you were watching my live video the other day, this piece was a little bit shorter than this piece. They both measure 8.5 inches wide, and mine was just a hair shy, and so it got me mixed up. Okay, so now we're going to take the Designer Series paper for this piece right here and add that, and that's right here. Okay. So I got my card mixed up, and then I lost my internet signal, so it was a hot mess the other day. Okay, now this is going to get added here. So I'm just going to use some liquid glue, and I'm going to put the glue here, okay? If I attempted to get it in the right spot on this layer, I might mess up. So I'm centering this on that strip. Just hold it for a second to dry. Okay, then we've got our greeting here, and then we're gonna add some ribbon. So I've got my polka dot tulle ribbon. This was included in the swag bag for those of you that got the packet, or are getting the packet, I should say. You have not gotten it yet. I shipped them after the event, and it's a good thing because, well, number one, I save on shipping, and number two, any mistakes that I've made on the measurements I can fix before I start cutting. So these videos are done first, and then I cut all the packets. And I want this bow to be small, but you have to be careful with this ribbon. If you have too heavy of a hand, you can actually rip it. So I like to do it in stages. Let's see, is that small enough? I could still get it a little bit smaller, but I can call it done. So now we're going to add the bow with a mini glue dot, just right here in the corner. We have to add some bling. Those two were in your swag bag. Okay, so I'm going to add the greeting, and the same thing, I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue on the bottom and then add it right there. And just hold it for a second. Okay, and now for our bling. So one up here. Okay, so here is our first card. Opens it up just like that. And now where can you sign it? You can add a signature over here, or you can turn it over on the back side, okay? So that's up to you. You can also use this space here, because that's, you don't want your writing to be seen from the front. So wherever it's hidden, this section right here is perfect, okay? And it fits in a standard medium envelope. Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, so now we're ready to make our second card. It opens up just like this. Okay, so here are our supplies. All the measurements are in your PDF. Those that took the class got it for free, and it is available for a small fee for those that did not take the class. Okay, so there's lots of layers here. I've got an S on this back one. That's my scrap to do my stamping. Okay, so I'm going to take my Memento ink and ink up my image. Hi, Bella. Y'all can hear Bella walking around in the background. Hello. And then we're going to stamp happy birthday. Now we've got more stamping to do on the inside, but we will do that later, okay? So for now, we're going to go ahead and color her. We're using Mango Melody, Gray Granite, and Granny Apple Green. I'm going to start with the Gray Granite, and we're just doing just a little bit of coloring, not a lot. Just kind of going around the edges. Although you're welcome to add more coloring if you prefer. Okay, then Mango Melody. If you don't have Mango Melody, you could use Pumpkin Pie. You could use Daffodil Delight. So we do have other choices. And now the Granny Apple Green. I am offering a special during this bingo event. You get a free set of blends with a minimum $50 order using the special host code. So the special host code is available. It starts, February 20th through the 28th. You will have to use that host code, and I will be giving you a form to complete to choose your set of blends. There's 5 on back order, so you can't choose one of the 5 because I can't order them. So yeah, and if you're watching this video way past February of 2021, so sorry. But I'm always having different offerings over on my website. Okay, so now let's cut this image out. So I've got my little mini die cut machine. Someone asked the other day if I like this better. I like it better because it's very lightweight. It's so lightweight, and so it doesn't cause any grief to my shoulders or arms or hands or neck. So I like it for that reason, that it's just very lightweight. So I'm going to use it anytime I have an opportunity to use it. If you'll notice, as this is coming out, my plates are staggered just ever so slightly. So here's plate number 1, here's plate number 2, then my sandwich in there, and then plate 2 on top again. So I have them staggered just a tad. So if you have them in and you have any issues, just stagger your plates. You can kind of see how they're staggered, okay? Okay, there's that one. For the greeting, we're going to cut that out using the classic label punch. Oh, I hope I gave myself room, because then we're going to trim the sides. Whew, I just barely gave myself room. It's a little shy, but it'll be okay. Okay, now we're going to layer this on top of here. So I'm just going to use my liquid glue. Oh, I just noticed this. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take our Granny Apple Green cardstock, and we are going to score this at 3 inches. Fold it over, burnish with our bone folder. Now this Whisper White layer is going to go in here, but we also have a layer of Designer Series paper that's going to get added. So let's go ahead and add that first before we add it inside our card, okay? Well, take it back. Here we go. I'm using liquid glue so that way we can slide it into place. And then now this is going to get added inside here, okay? So turn that over. Okay, now this layer is going to get added to the Whisper White layer, and then those are going to get added to the front, okay? So same thing. The Oso Ombre paper is one of our celebration items, and if I haven't already said it, you have until the end of February. Celebration this year ends in February, so it's usually January through March. It is not this year, it is just January and February. So the same thing with the special, if you're thinking about becoming a demonstrator, that special too is ending at the end of February. Okay, so we're just going to hold this for a second, let it dry. Okay, so that's going to go there. This is going to go here, but let's go ahead and stamp the inside. We're going to stamp You're Still a Spring Chicken up here. I typically say I'm no spring chicken. And then we're going to stamp the little one here, down here at the bottom. And then I did color the little one. I just used the Mango Melody and the Pool Party. And you can use any colors that you want, just so long as it goes with Granny Apple Green. And now the Mango Melody. I think I might have used pumpkin pie for the nose, or the beak, I should say, not the nose, the beak. Okay, now we're going to add the little greeting. Where is it? There it is. So I'm just going to add some liquid glue. Open that up so I can see where I put it. So I placed it right about there. And this is going to go here. And I want to make sure that I only add glue to the left side, okay? Because if we did it on the right side, then it would close it. So it's going to go right about there. Hold that. I'm going to take 2 Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, now we have to tie a bow with our crinkle seam binding. This too was in the swag bag. And that's just going to get added right here with a mini glue dot. Okay, and then the final thing is we want to add a little bit of bling. So I'm going to take the rhinestones and add 3 of those. Okay, so here you have it. Pretty cute, right? Okay, thanks. Okay, so that wraps up our class. I hope you guys have enjoyed the projects. I love them. Also, don't forget I'm having a special from February 20th to the 28th. With a minimum $50 order using this host code, you get to choose a set of Stampin' Blend markers. I'll have all the details over on my website. Okay, so thanks so much. And if you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot.